Hello everyone, my name is YOUYANG and my metric number is A206805. Today I will be presenting my lab 4 correction. Based on the last digit of my metric number, which is 5, I was assigned task 5, wheel mode removal task. This is a deliberate trap task designed to break the application's state management to demonstrate why proper architecture is necessary. Before diving into the code, let's briefly discuss the core concept of this task. In Jetpack Compose, we use navigation compose and a navicontroller to move between different screens. We define routes to map our UI destinations. However, navigation alone isn't enough for a fully functional app. We need a way to maintain shared state across all these different screens. Usually, we use a wheel mode for this. A wheel mode persists data through configurations changes like screen rotations and act as a single source of truth for the inter-application. In this task, I will demonstrate what happens when we don't use it. Okay, for task 5, I have deliberately removed the wheel mode from my classical literature. You can see I removed the wheel mode and change it to the remember. And previously, my nav host connected 5 screens and passed a shared literature wheel mode to all them. Here you can see here. Let's look at the code. Now you can see in my main navigation graph, the wheel mode instruction has been removed. If we look at the add code screen and the collection screen, I have replaced the wheel mode state with normal local variables using remember multiple state of. And the screens are still perfectly connected via the nav controller, but they no longer share a common data source. Okay, now let's run the application to see this trip in action. Here is my app featuring a minimum of 5 navigation screens. You can see first is a library and the digital and the write, discover, and collection. Okay, first I will navigate to the right screen. I will input a new classical code, its author and its translation. Okay, I will put the author about Tang Xianzu. And the classical code, I will input some words, and the translation I will input another some words. And then I will triggers the Navy controller to negative to the collection screen. Here is a save to collection. But look at close here, the collection screen is completely empty. The data I just entered is now here to be found. The data is no longer shared properly between our screens. Okay, back to our code. Why did this navigation fail to pass the data? This perfectly demonstrated why Compose application require a wheel mode for shared state. Normal variables wrapped in remember are strictly tied to the life cycle of that specific composable screen. When we navigate away from the right screen, the screen's local state is left behind and destroyed. The collection screen initialize its own separate empty variable. The biggest difficulty I faced in totally is understanding why my data kept disappearing during navigation and recomposition. Through this trip test, my understanding has greatly improved. I now fully realize that decorate UI completely depends on state. For multi-screen architecture, a wheel mode is absolutely mandatory to lift the state up, act as a bridge, and keep the data live outside of the UI tree. Thank you for watching my presentation. That's all.